RiverBender.com's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by Tom Lane, State Farm, your good neighbor agent in the Riverbend. Roberts Ford, the value store since 1949. Barry Macias, professional, independent insurance agents. First Mid-America Credit Union, exceeding members' expectations since 1934. Gerard Fisher, American Family Insurance. All of your protection under one roof.
Playing Quincy Notre Dame, this is a quality opponent. Maybe the best on the Explorers schedule this year.
Well, I think so, and they beat a pretty good team in Priory last week. They needed a good second half to do it, and if Marquette can get by this game, I think the Explorers have a good chance to run the table. But there'll be 7 other schools that have something to say about that. But Marquette looks like the team to beat in Prairie State. We'll get a good read on them in this game tonight. Notre Dame lost to Hannibal last week, but Notre Dame is state-rated and a good team, a physical team, a power team, and again, I think this will be the best test Explorers will have all season.
We'll have to see if Michael Ford can get untracked on this, what I'm sure is going to be a sloppy field. He rushed for 238 yards and 5 touchdowns last week against Priory, and I'm sure that Quincy Notre Dame is aware of him.
Well, I talked to Tim Nelson for the season. I said, this might be a big breakout year for Michael Ford, and really, when you think of it, he rushed for over 1,000 yards and scored 16 touchdowns last year.
Set, hit. Protection! Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold it. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Set, hit. Not only can I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
Notre Dame just keys on him, and if they do, if that opens it up for other Marquette running backs to excel, you would think in a game like this it's going to be tough to pass, but we've been fooled before in that.
Some other games in the area tonight already postponed until Monday. Alton will play at Cahokia at 1 o'clock Monday afternoon. East Alton Wood River at Metro East Lutheran will play at 5 o'clock Monday afternoon. And I understand the Jerseyville Granite City game has also been postponed until Monday. Have you heard a start time on that?
Haven't heard a start time. The Soldan at Edwardsville game is supposed to start at 8:15, and we're still unsure about Centralia at Civic Memorial, but it looks like they're going to start perhaps after this one.
And that'll be the second game of our broadcast doubleheader tonight, assuming they do get underway out in Bethalto. All set for the opening kickoff. Marquette will receive the opening kick. Zach Volley has the football teed at his own 40 and a low line drive kick. And it's knocked down by Michael Ford, who picks it up at the 8-yard line, coming to the near sideline, to the 15, to the 20, making some cuts. And Michael Ford loses the football, and it rolls out of bounds up at the 32 or 33-yard line. And it's Marquette's football right there, and that's what I expect we may see a lot of. That ball bounced 3 or 4 times before Ford picked it up. And then when he got hit, it's slippery. He coughed it up.
Well, he made a nice run back from where he picked up the ball inside the 5. But you're right, Sam. People are going to have to protect the ball tonight with both arms and not carry it like a loaf of bread.
The footing probably is better now than it will be all night. The football field has not been churned up. This field took a lot of water, and we can see some standing water in patches. And so as we go along, I think the conditions will get worse than they are now.
I agree, and that's why it's good to jump out early in a game like this, because the scoring will likely decrease as the game goes on.
Riley Bamper wide to the left side. Double wing formation for the Explorers with a tight end to the left, and they hand it on the jet play to Kareem Hamilton, and Quincy Notre Dame strings it out, and Hamilton is thrown for a loss. They'll give him forward progress to the 31-yard line, a loss of 2 on that carry for Kareem Hamilton. He never did get outside the contain of the Quincy Notre Dame defense.
Well, Marquette's got to try its speed, and that's its bread and butter, able to run outside, because it's going to be tough to run inside, but that's what you may have to do more of tonight, come up with creative ways to run the ball inside.
2nd and 12 for the Explorers, just shy of their own 31-yard line, just underway after a lengthy weather delay, of about an hour and 5 minutes. Keyshawn Young wide to the right side, double wing, and here is the give right up the middle. It's the fullback, Kaiser, and Kaiser pounds his way out to the 35-yard line. I think it was Kaiser, the fullback.
I believe so.
And he's a sophomore. Brandon Kaiser, 5'9", 175. He picked up 4, but it's going to be 3rd and 8 for the Explorers.
I know Tim Nelson thinks a lot of Kaiser. He was in the mix for the starting quarterback against a guy, Jack Miller, who had played there a lot in the past and was pushing him for the job, but he thinks enough of him that he's the starting fullback as a sophomore, so he's got high hopes for Mr. Kaiser.
Bamper wide left, Keyshawn Young wide right. Here's the give it to Michael Ford, finds running room through the hole on the right side. He's got yardage out near the first down marker before being slammed out of bounds. Ford carried a tackler with him about the last 3 yards. They went off tackle to the right side, and it is a first down out to the 43-yard line. A gain of 8 for Ford in the first down of the night.
Well, that was a good play, a little misdirection, and that's what you got to do. If you got somebody that's fast and make that misdirection play, you can get people missing tackles.
Ford is deceptively strong as well. He very seldom goes down on the first hit, and it was exhibited there. He was hit shy of the 40 and carried a tackler with him to the 43. Double wing, receivers left and right. Miller under center, takes the snap, turns, and the handoff is to Kaiser, the fullback, working the right side, and he'll have forward progress out near the 45-yard line. A gain of 2 on the carry for Brandon Kaiser. One change we see out of the Explorers, and I'm sure it's dictated by the weather conditions. Last week, when they ran the double wing formation, they ran from the pistol formation nearly exclusively until late in the game. They went to a power I formation. Tonight, Miller is up under center, and it's because that ball's wet.
Oh, yeah, and you got to keep things simple and keep that cohesion going.
2nd and 8, here's the give to Ford. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, no gain. They faked the handoff to the fullback Kaiser and then gave it to Ford, following him into the hole, but the Raiders shut it down. No gain, and it's going to be 3rd and 8 for the Explorers. The second time on this possession they faced 3rd and 8.
Well, you know, Sam, Marquette is a big play team and capable of exploding at any time, though on a night like this, you know, the big plays are probably going to be more infrequent. You're going to have to just sort of pound the ball and go at them and take what you can get.
Keyshawn Young wide to the right side. That's the short side of the field. Bamper wide left. They put a man in motion forward to the right side. Quick pass over the middle, and it's picked off by Quincy Notre Dame. Jordan Chappell picked it off as that pass was nowhere near the receiver on that slant. I think Miller threw it behind his intended receiver. And on the turnover, the first turnover of the night, the Raiders will have good field position starting at their own 45.
Well, he's going for just a short play, but the receiver wasn't there, and Chappell was right there and made a nice play.
So here come the Raiders. Joe McKay, the quarterback, turns, gives it, the tailback through the hole on the right side, breaking tackles, crosses midfield, and takes it down to the Marquette 48-yard line. A gain of 7 on that carry for Nick Wyman. Wyman, a senior tailback. He's a big kid, too. Wyman goes 6'2", 210. That's real good size for a tailback in high school football.
It is, and you can see Quincy's coming out in a power-type offense.
Power I formation with a receiver to the left side, 2nd and 3. Now the give to one of the fullbacks, one of the upbacks, and he bounces out to near first down yardage at the Explorer 45-yard line. That was Connor Obert on the carry, and he picked up the 3 he needed for the first down. So each team now has posted a first down, 1st and 10 Raiders at the Marquette 45-yard line. We're down to 7:45 and counting remaining in the first quarter. No score. The Raiders, Quincy Notre Dame, their first possession of the ball game after the interception. Now here's Wisely covers up. He just dropped the snap, reached down, picked it up, and as he was hit by a couple of explorers, he just went to the turf for a loss of 4 on that play. It'll be 2nd and 14.
This shows you every ball possession saying that the ball could be all over the place here.
I don't think that interception thrown by Miller is going to be the only turnover of the night.
No, I agree. And we've had 2 fumbles already, and luckily each team has recovered its own fumble.
2nd and 14, and here's the give to one of the up backs, and now a flag is thrown in the area. That's either going to be a face mask against Marquette or a hold against the Raiders. That was Oberg once again. Obert, it is a hold against the Raiders. That'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul and set them up for 2nd and about 21. So the first penalty of the night. You know, field position is going to play a big part in this game as well, and that's one of the things that makes that turnover critical, because you set the Raiders up in good field position to start this drive, but now they find themselves facing 2nd and 21 from their own 44-yard line. Our receivers left and right now as they go to a spread formation on 2nd and long, and then they turn and hand it to Wyman right up the middle. Goes good running road, and he's going to go all the way. Wyman right down the middle of the field, being chased from behind, but he's into the end zone for the touchdown. 56 yards on the run. They spread the field and then just handed it off right up the middle from the shotgun formation, and Wyman went 56, and the Raiders have the early lead.
Well, when they went to the spread, Marquette was looking for the pass. He came back right up the middle. Once he got through the first wave, he was gone.
So it's 6-0 Raiders, pending the extra point attempt, and let's see what they do here. They are going to go for 2, probably assuming that it's going to be tough to kick in conditions like this. So McKay under center puts a man in motion to the right side, and the left tackle jumps. So that'll cost him 5 and make this 2-point conversion even more difficult. We also understand that their kicker, their normal kicker, a senior, Matt Doan, has a stress fracture, and he's not able to kick, so that may be another reason they're going for 2.
And here, out at the about the 8-yard line, you wonder if they're going to throw the ball.
So following the 56-yard run for a touchdown, here's the 2-point conversion attempt. They pitch it back, and the running back tries to make a cut. That was Wyman, and his feet went out from underneath him. He hit the ground, a big splash of water, and the 2-point conversion attempt fails. 6:42 remaining first quarter. It's Quincy Notre Dame 6, Marquette nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
I'll grab the birthday cake. You bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
Why should you bring your vehicle to Quick Lane at Roberts Motors? You never need an appointment, just drive on in. Quick Lane has the guaranteed lowest tire prices around. Plus, we perform a multi-point inspection of the critical items on your vehicle at no charge every time you visit. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, or any other make, Quick Lane can service it. We're even open on Saturdays. Stop by Quick Lane at Roberts Motors today. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane.
An hour and 5-minute weather delay starting at 8:05. That's like the old days, Steve, when all the games started at 8.
Well, you know, some of the basketball games you start at 8:30.
Yeah. Now here are the Explorers on the return, and with the football, and it's Alfred Soballeo, and he returns it out to the 30-yard line, and that's where the Explorers will start their second possession. Marquette on his first possession after the opening kickoff picked up a first down, and then on 3rd and 8, An interception was thrown by Jack Miller, and Quincy Notre Dame, facing second and long, converted it with a 56-yard touchdown run by Nick Wyman, and now the Explorers will try and answer. They send receivers left and right. Wide to the left side, Riley Bamper. Wide right, Keyshawn Young. They have a man in the right slot as well. And here's Miller running the option to the right side, pitches it back to Ford. He keeps his feet. He's hemmed in, crosses the 30, and finds running room out to the 32 or 33-yard line. An awful lot of pursuit there, and Ford did well to turn what could have been a losing play into a gain of nearly 3 on that carry.
Well, he's Marquette's most elusive player, and you want to get him outside. It was a good pitch by Miller to get the ball outside to Ford. Even in weather like this, if Ford can get outside, he's dangerous.
2nd down and 7 for the Explorers, just shy of their own 33-yard line. And the clock rolling with 6.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Hamilton in motion to the left side, and they give the ball up the middle. On the carry, it's the fullback, Brandon Kaiser. And Kaiser picks up only a yard on that carry as the middle closed quickly. They tried a little misdirection there with some motion, and it did not fool the Raiders. So 3rd and long again for the Explorers, 3rd and 6 this time. They converted a 3rd and 8. They threw an interception on another 3rd and 8. Now they face 3rd and 6. Bamper wide left, Young wide right, double wing formation, Jack Miller under center. He puts a man in motion and turns and gives it to the fullback, Kaiser, and Kaiser found some running room through the right side, crosses the 35 out to the 38-yard line, but he'll be 2 yards shy of a first down after that pickup of 4.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is fair.
Set, hit. Protection! Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold it. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Set, hit. Not only can I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
Marquette tried to get Notre Dame looking outside and hit them inside, and not quite enough yardage there for the Explorers.
Nick Holford back in punt formation for the Explorers. Stands just outside his own 25-yard line. Last week on the first punt attempt of the night, the snap went over Holford's head and it set up a Priory touchdown. And now with a wet football, anything can happen. 4th and 2 for the Explorers from their own 38. Long count, there's a high snap. Holford brings it down and just gets the kick away.
Did a nice job of getting the kick off.
Under pressure, and it is picked up by Quincy Notre Dame at their own 35 and down the right sideline. The return man goes. I think the Explorers fell asleep there. They thought he was just going to let it roll dead. Right. He picked it up at his own 35 and returned it across midfield to the Marquette 47-yard line. That was a return of 18 yards.
Well, he sort of played possum there. He didn't fair catch, but he didn't go after the ball. And after it almost stopped rolling, he picked it up and got going. And you called it right, Sam. I think he caught Marquette flat-footed on that play.
1st and 10 Raiders at the Marquette 47-yard line. Quincy Notre Dame with an early 6-0 lead. And now they set up on their second possession. McKay turns, gives it to one of the up-backs. That's Obert. Obert, a fullback, working the right side, takes it inside the 45 down to the 44-yard line. A gain of 3 for Connor Obert.
Well, nothing fancy here. Notre Dame has the ball in the lead, and you think they're going to just pound at the Explorers midsection until the Explorers stop them. And if they stop them, well, that's good. But if they can't stop them, then Marquette's in big trouble.
2nd down, 2nd and 7 Raiders at the Marquette 44. A receiver to the left side. Power I formation behind McKay. He fumbles the snap. He goes down and tries to cover it, and he got on it before any of the oncoming linemen from Marquette could get there. So that's the second time that Joe McKay has fumbled a snap. He's lost neither of them, but a loss of a yard on that play. Well, that's of the possibility of a run. We've got a very good crowd on hand here, even after the delay, and despite a steady rain. Everybody brought their umbrellas, and
you're right, Sam. You can tell the crowd by the umbrellas. Don't count the people, count the umbrellas.
Some of them have 2 people under it. They're big umbrellas. And now the Raiders, facing 4th and 8, want a timeout. 2:45 remaining here in the first quarter. It's late enough. I thought maybe it was the third quarter, but it's the first quarter. The score, Notre Dame 6, Marquette nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
I'll grab the birthday cake, you bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
Society is 10 for Marquette to return this kick. High snap. The punter just barely brings it down and then gets the kick away. Marquette didn't have a rush on, and now it takes a Notre Dame bounce and rolls dead at about the Marquette 8-yard line. And that was almost disaster for the Raiders, and instead it turns out to their benefit because the Explorers don't get a return.
Well, if you've seen the two, or at least listened to us talking about the snaps, the first 2 snaps and the punts both have been bad. You wonder if the teams will start rushing the punter now, figuring if they can get him a little jittery, maybe they can block the punt.
So the Explorers now with their 3rd possession, each team with only 1 first. Well, actually, Notre Dame has 2 first downs. Marquette just 1, and the Explorers start deep in their own territory. They go double tight, power I formation. And here is the give to the tailback. That's Ford. He bounces it outside and finds the right sideline. Puts another juke on, crosses the 15, crosses the 20, and out to first down territory. Out to about the 20. Well, we're going to have to wait for the spot because he went out of bounds on the near sideline. 21-yard line, so a gain of 13 for Michael Ford.
That was a nice run. When he bounced outside, you could see he was going to get big yardage on it.
And he got the Explorers out of a big hole. So now 1st and 10 from their own 21. Again, they stay double tight, power I formation. Miller under center, turns, pitches back to Ford, now sweeping the left side. Ford tries to break the line of scrimmage and can't. He's brought down right at the line of scrimmage for virtually no gain on that carry. He might have gained a foot. We'll call it 2nd and 9. We'll give him a yard on that one, unofficially. 2nd down and 9, Explorers just shy of their own 22-yard line. It is our understanding that the game between Civic Memorial and Centralia should be kicking off any moment now, and that will be game 2 of our broadcast doubleheader this evening. The Alton game postponed in Cahokia until 1 o'clock on Monday. Wood River and Metro East Lutheran will be 5 o'clock Monday. Here's the give to Kaiser, the fullback, and Kaiser fumbles the football. And let's see who's on it. The Raiders. Let's see. Let's wait for an official indication. It is the Raiders recovering the fumble. Kaiser was stood up in the hole. He didn't fumble initially, but he struggled for more yardage. And on the second hit, he coughed up the football. So each team has fumbled twice. Marquette the first to lose a fumble, but it is the second turnover of the first half by the Explorers, and now the Raiders set up on the 1st and 10 on the Explorer 20-yard line. They go with a receiver wide to the right side, power I formation. McKay pitches back. It's Wyman. Wyman finds an opening. Wyman hurdles a tackler at the 10. He's in for the touchdown. Wyman looked like he was going to be hit at the 10, and he hurdled the tackler and took it in for his second touchdown of the night.
That's a double whammy there, Sam. You lose the ball and fumble, and they score in the next play. And Wyman unofficially 85 yards already.
So with 1:36 remaining in the first quarter, Quincy Notre Dame now leading by 2 touchdowns. It's 12-0. And they will go for a 2-point conversion. A receiver to the right side. Power I formation behind McKay. He pitches back to Wyman. Wyman slips as he makes the cut. There was a huge hole there. It looked like he could walk through it, and as he tried to accelerate through the hole, he slipped and his knee went down shy of the goal line, so the 2-point conversion attempt fails. 1:36 remaining here in the first quarter. The score, Notre Dame 12, Marquette nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Why should you bring your vehicle to Quick Lane at Roberts Motors? You never need an appointment, just drive on in. Quick Lane has the guaranteed lowest tire prices around. Plus, we perform a multi-point inspection of the critical items on your vehicle at no charge every time you visit. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, or any other make, Quick Lane can service it. We're even open on Saturdays. Stop by Quick Lane at Roberts Motors today. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Trying to get outside to the left side, shakes off one tackler, gets a nice block from Michael Ford, but he's hemmed in, staying on his feet. Now he finds a wall to the right side. Hamilton out across the 35, but then finally brought down right at the 35-yard line. And quite frankly, he was probably worn out by the time he got to the 35.
I think he ran there. I think he hit every spot in the field, Sam. But he made a nice U-turn. He did it a couple of times.
That was about a 12 or 15-yard return, but he must have run 60 yards. He started to the right side, got hemmed in, reversed his field, went to the left, got a nice block by Michael Ford, got hemmed in again, cut it back to the right, and he was within a couple of steps maybe of getting to the sideline and putting on a burst of speed, but a tackler hit him at the 35 and brought him down. Marquette goes double tight, power I formation. Jack Miller sets the team. Takes the snap, turns, and the ball is, I think he gave it to Kaiser. I think he tried to pull it out, and Kaiser just held on to it. Kaiser no gain on the play as he was hit right at the line of scrimmage. They were running the option there, and I think Miller saw that Kaiser wasn't going to go anywhere and tried to take it back, but it was too late. Kaiser had clamped onto it, and he was hit immediately for no gain.
Well, it's a big series for Marquette, down 2 touchdowns. They need to, obviously, they need to score, but for sure they need to move the ball, get a few first downs, prove that their offense can do something.
Marquette's fourth possession. Here's a give to Ford. Ford running room up the middle. Michael Ford still on his feet, breaks a tackle at the 45. He's out to midfield, and he has a first down, a gain of 15 for Michael Ford.
That was a nice power run, too, not just the outside. He went right up the middle.
That's what many people would not guess about him, but he has all the characteristics of a power runner. He doesn't look like one, but he very seldom goes down on the first hit. At the end of that play, they had stood him up, and they were trying to strip him. And here is the give once again. Ford now working the left side. Ford powering his way, moving the pile inside the 45, down to the 43 of the Raiders, a gain of 7 for Ford. I have him for 7 carries for 47 yards. Is that close?
That's close.
And that's the end of the first quarter. After 12 minutes of play, under a steady rain here at Public School Stadium, the score, Notre Dame 12, The Explorers, nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Set, hit. Protection. Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Set, hit. Not only can I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
With you, and the Explorers 2nd and 4. Here's the give to Ford. He slipped as he took the handoff, but maintained his feet and got a first down as he hit the hole inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. That was a 7-yard run after he lost his footing.
That was a nice run, and I guess we might see tonight how much Ford can do. How many can he carry the ball 25 times? Can he run inside, half of those times? He's getting a little break now.
He's coming off, and it may be just a bit winded, although we just had the quarter break. And Marquette stays with that power I formation. Now Keyshawn Young, the tailback. And here's the give to Young. Keyshawn Young looking for a hole to the left side. Finally puts his head down and pounds his way down to the 35-yard line. A gain of 3 on the first carry of the night for Young. And, that's pretty good when your starter has to go out for a blow and you can put a guy like Keyshawn Young at tailback.
Almost just as fast and maybe faster. I know Mike Slaughter was saying for the game that he thinks this is the fastest group of running backs Marquette's ever had. And of course, Mike goes back 150 years.
Yes, he does.
Marquette, so.
Well, speed these days is different than the kind of speed he had when he played, but he played in a pretty speedy backfield. Now a timeout on the field taken by the Raiders. 11 minutes remaining in the second quarter. The Raiders 12, the Explorers nothing. This is Z1570 Radio Sports.
I'll grab the birthday cake. You bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
Why should you bring your vehicle to Quick Lane at Roberts Motors? You never need an appointment, just drive on in. Quick Lane has the guaranteed lowest tire prices around. Plus, we perform a multi-point inspection of the critical items on your vehicle at no charge every time you visit. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, or any other make, Quick Lane can service it. We're even open on Saturdays. Stop by Quick Lane at Roberts Motors today. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane.
We see that Roxana and Pena started early tonight. They started at 6 o'clock, and it looks like Pena defeated Roxana 16-15. That was a loss of 2 on the play by Michael Ford. And Marquette now facing 4th and 5 at the 33 of the Raiders.
And they're going for it, which they should, down 2 touchdowns.
This part of the field is very sloppy. Most of the game has been played right in this area. And now the Explorers want a timeout with a critical 4th down play facing them. So let's review here. Pena defeated Roxana 16-15 tonight. They started early at 6 o'clock and apparently beat the worst of the weather. This game here was delayed an hour and 5 minutes, and we've got 9:26 remaining in the second quarter. Notre Dame leads Marquette 12-0. The Civic Memorial Centralia game, which is game 2 of our broadcast doubleheader, was delayed about an hour and a half, but they're just underway about 10 minutes ago out in Bethalto. The Alton game at Cahokia has been postponed until 1 o'clock Monday afternoon. And the East Alton Wood River Metro East Lutheran game has been postponed until 5 o'clock Monday afternoon. We will have that game for you live at 5 o'clock on Monday.
So actually, you could watch both of them if you wanted to.
Yes,
you
you
wanted
could.
to spend Labor Day watching 2 high school football games. You
Absolutely.
Could go to Cahokia and then to Edwardsville.
Drive down to Cahokia and then head to Edwardsville and catch them both. And we understand Jerseyville and Granite City has been postponed until Monday, but we don't have a definitive game time on that one. So now the Explorers, following the timeout, facing 4th and 5 at the 33 of the Raiders. And they stayed double tight and the power I formation behind Miller, who takes the snap, rolls to his left, and he wants to throw. Now he's going to run with it. And he comes up shy of the first down as he is hit at the 30-yard line. He had some running room, but on this slick turf, it's hard to get going. And despite the fact that he saw an opening, the defense closed because he was a little bit leery of him. So the ball goes over on downs to the Raiders, who lead it 12-0.
Yeah, Sam, it looked like he might be able to get those extra 2 yards, but Notre Dame really closed quickly and kept him from making another move, and now takes over again. So this is a key part of the game for Marquette's defense, down 12-0.
I think Miller was a little leery, too, of trying to put on a burst there, simply because the footing is so treacherous.
And he probably couldn't cut back to the inside, which was where he could have gotten a couple more yards.
We now have a torrential downpour. I mean, it just suddenly the skies opened and it's coming down very heavily, and Marquette wants a timeout. It comes with 9:16 remaining here in the second quarter. The score, the Raiders 12, the Explorers nothing. You're listening to C1570 Radio Sports.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hit. Protection! Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold it. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Hit. Not only can I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
And now the rain starts to let up just a little bit. It was a torrential downpour there for a few moments. 2nd and 9, Raiders from their own 31. The pitch back to Wyman. Wyman trying to find the outside. He is hit by Michael Ford, and Ford brings him down after a short gain. They will give Wyman forward progress out to the 34-yard line, a gain of 3 on that carry. Wyman, their tailback, and he is the feature back. He's had every carry save 2 by the fullback Obert. McKay, officially 2 carries, but both of those were him falling on fumbled snaps. Clock rolling with 8:10 remaining in the second quarter. 12-0 Raiders. They face 3rd and 6 from their own 34. Here is the give to one of the up backs. And not a good mesh between him and McKay. He stumbled and hits the turf after a gain of 2. That was Obert on the carry. And it's 4th and 4 Raiders from their own 36-yard line, and they send the punt team onto the field. Marquette will send Keyshawn Young back.
This would be a good time to rush your punter, Sam. You're down by 2, and if they bobble it or mishandle it, you can get the ball deep in their own territory, maybe even block it. Let's see what happens here.
Blaine Wilson back in punt formation, stands at his own 23-yard line. High snap, the Explorers don't come, and Keyshawn Young lets it hit. It's a short kick. It takes a Raider bounce and rolls dead at about the Marquette 35-yard line. The Explorers will start right there, 1st and 10, but let's see, any flags? I hear whistles blowing. Nope, no flags. They're just wanting the sticks to move. So the Explorers, as we approach the midpoint of the second quarter, this would be a great time for Marquette to get on the scoreboard, get themselves back in this game before halftime.
Right. 2 touchdowns down is tough enough. If you can get back to 1, then you have a chance in the second half to come back and win the game.
Marquette, double tight end set, power I formation. Ford the tailback, Kaiser the fullback. Behind Miller. Miller drops the snap, picks it up, and he'll go down immediately for a loss of a yard. Well, how many fumbled snaps have we had here tonight? I guess that was the first fumbled snap for the Explorers. But Notre Dame, second quarter, it's Quincy Notre Dame 12, Marquette nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
I'll grab the birthday cake, you bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
You have to get back in this game.
Oh, yeah, 34 yards to go, and if you can hold on to the ball and score, you're right back in the game. The big problem is being able to hold on to the ball and move it. And I don't know how you remedy that, Sam.
Well, and despite the fact that they're wiping the ball off with a towel, it's wet, it's probably heavier than usual, and it's slick. And the key here for Marquette will be on their last possession. They fumbled 3 straight times, never did get a handoff. And then on the very next play, after punting to the Raiders, they fumbled and Marquette recovered. Now here's the give on the jet play. Here's Kareem Hamilton trying to turn the left corner. They just keep stringing it out. He stays on his feet and picks up a yard or 2 before being bumped out of bounds on the near sideline.
He got something out of nothing there. That looked like a 5 or 6 yard loss, and he turned it into a couple yard gain.
We'll call it a gain of 1 for Hamilton. You know, you just... then look out. Because once you start running north and south, the field conditions don't get in the way. But they haven't been able to seal the edge, and they've very seldom turned the corner.
Well, it's tough to cut. That's another. It's tough to get out there and block, and it's tough to get out there and make the cut.
2nd and 9 for the Explorers at the 33 of the Raiders. Here's the give to Kaiser, the fullback. He finds an opening and squirts through it inside the 30, down to the 26-yard line. And that's a nice gain on that play. A gain of, let's call it 7. And it's going to be 3rd and 3 for the Explorers. 3rd and a short 3, long 2.
Well, maybe just power football and 4 downs of it. Take those 3 or 4 yards every time. Well, 7 on that one, but...
Well, and if you can establish something with a fullback, then you got a better chance of getting to the outside with that speed. Double tight. They go to the...
doing it, but tonight, Notre Dame threw the ball. Well, both teams threw the ball once. And if Notre Dame maintains the lead, I don't really see them throwing the ball again.
No. Here's the way this one went. Marquette took the opening kickoff, got a first down, and then on their second series, on the 3rd and 8, Jack Miller threw an interception, and just a few plays later on a 2nd and 21, Nick Wyman scored on a 56-yard run. The 2-point conversion attempt failed, and with 6:42 remaining in the first quarter, Notre Dame led 6-0. Then following another Marquette turnover a short field. The Explorers turned it over at their own 20, a fumble by Michael Ford. And on the ensuing play, again, it was Nick Wyman, a 20-yard run. It came with 1:36 remaining in the first quarter. The two-point conversion attempt failed. It was 12-0. Marquette had an opportunity late in the second quarter as they recovered a Notre Dame fumble inside the Notre Dame 35-yard line, but the Explorers couldn't get anything going. And then the Raiders threatened as they marched down the field in the final minute and a half or so, but ran out of time after a couple of penalties. And now we're just about 5 minutes from getting the second half underway, and this field is just soaking wet. There are puddles everywhere. Down here in front of the Marquette bench, there's probably 6 to 8 inches of standing water. And as we look out here between to the west side of the field, between the 25 and 40-yard lines, it's a swamp. It's absolutely a swamp. And most of the action took place in that part of the field.
And yeah, you're right, Sam, and it's going to make that tough. Marquette's depending on running the ball outside. Ford's done that a couple times, but he's had as much yardage running the ball inside. So Marquette, it almost looks like they're going to have a sustained drive running the ball inside.
You would think Notre Dame coach Bill Connell here at halftime is talking about ball security, because that's one thing that could allow the
kind of scoring might come on flukes, on bad snaps, or somebody picking up a fumble and running with it, or maybe somebody just having to break away from everybody else. But it would really be hard in this kind of weather for me to envision somebody breaking away from everybody else and outrunning them.
Well,
unless everybody fell down behind them.
That's right. The Raiders are going to have the first possession here in the second half. And now what I have dubbed the Rodgers Theorem. John Rodgers has told me for years the most important possession of the football game is the first possession of the second half. In this case, you look at what's happening here. The Raiders have a 12-0 lead. If they can take that kickoff and move down the field and put points on the board, they'll pretty well seal away this victory. The Explorers, on the other hand, if they can play tough defense, gain some field position, then set themselves up to go in, could put themselves right back in the football game. Well, so this first possession, under the Rodgers Theorem, very, very important.
Well, and especially on weather like this, because you're talking about a 2-touchdown swing. You're talking about being down 18 or 20-0, as opposed to being down maybe 12-6 or 12-8. And conditions like this, when scoring is going to be at a premium, I think that theorem even holds more. I didn't know John was a great math teacher. I guess he was.
Well, just ask him; he'll tell you. Yeah. So both teams back out onto the field, stretching, and we will be set for the second half kickoff when we return. At halftime, the Marquette Explorers on the short end of a 12-0 score to the Quincy Notre Dame Raiders. Back with the second half kickoff in just a moment. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Why should you bring your vehicle to Quick Lane at Roberts Motors? You never need an appointment, just drive on in. Quick Lane has the guaranteed lowest tire prices around. Plus, we perform a multi-point inspection of the critical items on your vehicle at no charge every time you visit. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, or any other make, Quick Lane can service it. We're even open on Saturdays. Stop by Quick Lane at Roberts Motors today. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Sam Stem along with Steve Porter of the Telegraph, and we're preparing for the second half kickoff as the Marquette Explorers are trailing Quincy Notre Dame 12-0. The Raiders, the 10th ranked team in the Class 4A poll, despite a loss in the opening week of the season, and the Explorers playing their final preseason non-conference game, early season non-conference game. Next week, they're on to Prairie State Conference action.
Well, you know, before when the first poll came out, Marquette was in receiving votes. Then the Explorers won last week. Oh, they
beat a pretty good opponent.
Yeah, and they weren't even in the receiving votes, so I don't know what happened there. But, yeah, Prairie State play will be interesting. You know, it started last week with Bunker Hill beating Metro Lutheran in an overtime game, Bunker Hill ending a 25-game losing streak.
Well, but it's fair to say Marquette is the prohibitive favorite.
Without a doubt.
Favorite.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
The big battle will be for the final 4 spots there, I would think.
And then next Saturday night, the Explorers hosting Mount Olive in their first Prairie State game. And we'll have that game for you live here on Z1570. But we've got a half of action here, and Marquette would like to find a way to get back in this one, trailing 12-0. 12-0 doesn't sound insurmountable, but if you're here viewing the action and seeing the conditions of the field, and we have a steady rain coming down after a downpour earlier, and now Brogan Fisher kicks it deep. It's fumbled by the deep man, picks it up at his own 8, sloshing his way out across the 20, and finally hit down as he crosses the 25 out to the 27 or 28-yard line. And on the return, I think that was Wyman.
Yes,
no,
sir.
number 11 on the return. That's Jordan Chappell, one of their fullbacks.
He's the guy who had the interception.
Yes, indeed. But he couldn't hold it. He came up and tried to catch it, dropped it, picked it up at the 8, and returned it out to the 27-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Raiders right there. They send a receiver wide to the right side. Joe McKay, their junior quarterback, turns and gives it to the tailback on the carry. And I don't think that's Wyman, or is it? Yes, it is.
His numbers are getting hard to tell.
Yeah, it is. They are. And, a gain of maybe 2 on the carry for Wyman. 3 and out here. A receiver wide to the right side. That's Barry Wilmer. Power I formation behind McKay. He turns, gives it to the fullback. That's Obert. And Obert picks his way through the line, through some traffic. It's not Obert. It's number 41, Chad Thompson, with his first carry of the night. And Thompson picked up 3, and it's going to be 3rd and 5. So a big third down here for the Explorers. Explorers defense. If they can stop them, they may get good field position. But again, isn't it uncanny? We're playing right here in this mess once again.
We're right in the quagmire.
And Marquette had the choice there, which end of the field they wanted to take, and they purposely put Notre Dame in that quagmire. And now here is the give, the pitch back to Wyman, and Wyman got a yard, nothing more, and it's going to be 4th and 4, and they'll send the punting team out. So the Explorers get what they wanted here, a 3 and out. And now let's see if this time, Steve, they do put some pressure on the punter. The snaps have not been good, the long snaps.
And where the ball is here, right in the middle of the quagmire, the quicksand, whatever you want to call it.
Keyshawn Young stands back at his own 42. And the Explorers do come this time, but it was a good snap, and that ball hits and dies at the 42 of the Explorers. So it was about a 15 or 16-yard punt. Was our 25 or 26, I guess.
Looked like a pebble somebody threw in the water.
Yeah. It hit and stuck, and so the Explorers will start 1st and 10 from their own 42. Early third quarter action.
Well, there's plenty of time. Just a matter of Marquette has to move the ball here to decide how they're going to do it.
They stay double tight with a power I formation. Jack Miller, the senior quarterback under center, takes a snap, drops the snap, turns around, hands it to Michael Ford, who's hemmed in and is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. And they're going to have to figure out some way to hang on to the slick football. That is the 6th Marquette fumble. And Ford did a good job just to turn it into a no-gainer.
Well, he did a great job.
2nd down and 10 Explorers from their own 42. I wonder if at some point you consider just giving a direct snap to Ford and let him run.
Like a wildcat?
Yeah. Of course, long snapping to him in the tailback position may be problematic. Pitch back to Ford, trying to turn it.
Fumble.
He loses the football.
It's still
loose. And who's on it? I think the Raiders say they got it, and they did. All the way back at the Marquette 33-yard line. So the 7th fumble of the night by the Explorers, the 2nd lost fumble, the 2nd fumble in 2 snaps for the Explorers here in the second half, and Marquette's 3rd turnover of the night. Well, we said at the beginning turnovers would be key. And so far, Notre Dame is winning the turnover battle, and they're winning the football game. All of their points came off of Marquette turnovers, and they have an opportunity here on a short field on the best side of the field in terms of field conditions.
Right.
At the Marquette 33-yard line, 1st and 10. The backs in the eye with receivers left and right. McKay turns, gives to Wyman. Wyman right up the middle, big hole. Now he tries to cut it back to the left side, cuts back to the right, on his feet at the 10-5, touchdown. Nick Wyman, his 3rd touchdown of the night.
Great cutting and using his blocking there.
Well, he actually banged into one of his blockers, but stayed on his feet, and I think that threw the Explorer defense off.
176 yards unofficially for Wyman tonight.
Wyman, a 33-yard touchdown run after runs earlier of 55 and 20. And now they'll go for 2 as they lead 18-0. And here's the give to
Wyman.
And Wyman does not get in. So that's the only thing he's not been able to do here tonight. 8:56 remaining 3rd quarter. The score now, Notre Dame 18, the Explorers nothing.
Set, hit. Protection. Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold it. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Set, hit. Not only can I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
Remaining in the 3rd quarter, 18-0, Quincy Notre Dame over Marquette. We had an hour and 5-minute weather delay prior to the opening kickoff, but we have not been interrupted since. We have played in rain throughout, although it has nearly stopped right now. Ford in motion to the right side. Miller to throw, and that pass is incomplete. Miller lost his footing as he went to deliver it. He had Kareem Hamilton open down the field, but the ball did not reach Hamilton because Miller couldn't get anything on it because he was on his way to the turf as he let the football go.
Well, he couldn't get his footing, Sam. You were right.
So now 3rd and 12 for the Explorers. Miller 0 for 2 with an interception. McKay for the Raiders has completed the only pass he's attempted tonight. So now 3rd and 12 Marquette at the 34 of the Raiders. Counter. And here's a give on the counter to Ford. He broke it earlier, broke one tackle, now finds some running room to the right side, but he's stacked up and brought down. He just can't accelerate on this sloppy field.
I thought when he got through the line there, he might take it all the way.
Even though he got in space, he couldn't outrun the defenders simply because he couldn't accelerate. A gain of 8 on that carry for Ford, and it's 4th and 4 for Marquette, and of course they'll go. Michael Ford, I think, is over 100. I have him for 104. What do you have?
Right around 100. Well, of course, I had on that fumble a loss of 9.
Oh, okay. And I didn't get that, so.
And he sort of got charged with that, although it wasn't exactly his fault.
So 4th and 4 Explorers, and they go with the I formation, double tight, pitch it back to Kareem Hamilton, and he'll be throwing for a loss as he couldn't turn that right corner. And the Explorers give it up on downs. Well, that 5-yard procedure penalty killed him.
Yeah, you got
it. Had a first down there without it.
The big plays are going to be harder and harder to get on a night like this. You sort of got to grind it out.
So the Raiders send their offense onto the field. Stay tuned. Game 2 of our broadcast doubleheader coming up following this one, Civic Memorial and Centralia. And it probably won't be a high-scoring game either. Now here's the give to Wyman. And Wyman picks up positive yardage to the left side. Let's see where they spot it.
Right in our friendly zone again.
Yeah, it is. I mean, honest to goodness, 80% of this game has been played in this 20-yard section of the field, and thus that section is completely chewed up. A 4-yard gain for Wyman.
I have been from around 180 yards, and of course the 3 touchdowns.
Second down and 6 for the Raiders, and here's the give. Wyman once again. Why not? Wyman breaking tackles. Wyman running over tacklers and takes it all the way out to the 49-yard line, a gain of 22.
You know, he's built for a night like this. Maybe not this bad, but he's built to run in this kind of weather. 203 yards unofficially, Sam.
203 yards rushing for Wyman and 3 touchdowns. He's having the kind of night that Michael Ford had last week here on this field. 1st and 10 Raiders from their own 49. Now they're getting into a part of the field. Now the ball is fumbled, and the Explorers say they have it, but the officials disagree. The Raiders covered it. And I think that was Wyman. That wasn't Wyman that time. It was
Obert?
I believe Obert. He coughed it up and lost a yard. 2nd down and 11 for Quincy Notre Dame. On the 2nd down play, they send receivers left and right. The back's in the eye behind Joe McKay, the junior quarterback. And the pitch back, and that's Wyman. Not Wyman.
No.
Somebody spelling Wyman. That's 36 out there.
Blaine Wilson.
Blaine Wilson with his first carry of the night. I knew when I looked at the jersey it was too clean to be Wyman.
And he went down too easily when he tackled also.
Wilson gained only a yard. So now it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Wyman's a tough guy to bring down because he bounces off tacklers and he's got that leverage.
Well, he's 6'2", 210, playing tailback. Wilson stays in there. And the give is to Wilson. Wilson finds running room up the middle. Has first down yardage, perhaps. Let's wait for the spot. They're going to put him down.
Yep.
And it is a first down. He picked up 10 on that carry. Well, at that time, the offensive line just opened a big hole right up the middle.
I'll grab the birthday cake. You bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
Why should you bring your vehicle to Quick Lane at Roberts Motors? You never need an appointment, just drive on in. Quick Lane has the guaranteed lowest tire prices around. Plus, we perform a multi-point inspection of the critical items on your vehicle at no charge every time you visit. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, or any other make, Quick Lane can service it. We're even open on Saturdays. Stop by Quick Lane at Roberts Motors today. Come see why life is better in the quick lane.
Well, at that time, the offensive line just opened a big hole right up the middle. Once he broke the line of scrimmage, it was clear sailing until somebody hit him 10 yards down the field. 1st and 10 Raiders at the Marquette 40. Now they're getting into the better part of the field.
And Notre Dame has the ball and running the clock, doing exactly what the Raiders want to do.
With an 18-0 lead. Power I formation behind Joe McKay. Takes the snap, turns, gives it to Wilson. Wilson still on his feet. Oh! He is flipped head over heels. And when he hit the ground, he coughed up the ball, and now somebody from Marquette pulled at the ball. That was Kareem Hamilton, and he draws a flag. So Wilson picked up 11 on that carry and a first down. And then they're going to get more tacked on because the Explorers lost their composure.
Well, the mistakes have hurt Marquette. The 2 fumbles and interception basically turned into 3 Notre Dame touchdowns.
Well, I thought they threw they're talking it over. Now they're going to walk it off. 15 against the Explorers. Only their 3rd penalty of the night, but each one has been very costly. And so Marquette coach Tim Nelson calls Hamilton out of the game, as the flag was on Hamilton, who was a little frustrated as he thought maybe he had come up with the football. And now the Explorers want a timeout. 3:13 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Notre Dame 18, Marquette nothing.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Set, hit. Protection! Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Set, hit. Not only can I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
We're live at Public School Stadium in Alton. We got underway just about an hour late, an hour and 5 minutes late. And Quincy Notre Dame leads Marquette 18-0 here late in the 3rd quarter. And the Raiders face 1st and 10 at the Marquette 15-yard line. A receiver wide to the right side. The back's in the power I formation, and here's the give to the tailback. That's Wilson once again. Finds a seam, and he walks in for the touchdown. Wilson, spelling Wyman, pretty much follows the same script as he walked in untouched from 15 yards out. Nothing fancy about that. They just opened a gargantuan hole on the right side, and Wilson had a clear lane to the end zone. Blaine Wilson, a junior running back, and now they'll go for 2 to try to add to the 24-0 lead. Here's the give to Wilson. Wilson dives for the goal line and comes up short. So again, the extra point attempt fails. So 2 first-quarter touchdowns, 2 third-quarter touchdowns for Quincy Notre Dame. This one coming with 3:06 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and the score now is the Raiders 24, the Explorers nothing.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
I'll grab the birthday cake. You bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
Some other area games involving local teams postponed until Monday. Alton will play at Cahokia at 1 o'clock Monday afternoon. East Alton Wood River at Metro East Lutheran at 5 o'clock Monday afternoon. You'll hear that one live right here on Z1570. It had been scheduled for a tape delay broadcast tomorrow. Now Kareem Hamilton knocks the football down at the 20, picks it up, looking for running room. Finds a block, tries to turn the left corner, crosses the 30 and run out of bounds.
And a
late hit as they actually engaged him before they had him out of bounds, but they didn't disengage. The defender did not until he had driven him about 4 yards out of bounds, and that's what brought the flag. Spot of the foul was about the 35 of the Explorers, so they'll move it out to midfield. And Marquette will have some halfway decent field position, but they've shown a complete inability to move the football, especially here in the second half. They didn't move it a whole lot in the first half, but here in the second half, other than one big play, about a 45-yard run by Michael Ford, other than that, every other play has gone for nothing or a loss. Marquette has turned the ball over 3 times here tonight, all 3 leading to Raider touchdowns. And as Steve pointed out earlier, 2 of them on the very first play following the turnover. Now Marquette double wing from the pistol formation, and they run the option to the right side, pitch it back to Ford. Ford some running room to the right side, tries to put a move on, has first down yardage, and then some, all the way down to the 36 of the Raiders, a gain of 14 for Michael Ford.
Made something out of nothing there. It looked like the pitch he got, he was going to have to fall on the ball, but he picked it up.
Now he's over 100.
Yep.
1st and 10 at the Raider 36-yard line. The clock rolling with 2:45 remaining in the third quarter. And again, Marquette right back in that quagmire. The stretch of field between the 25 and the 40 on the west side of the field is just a mess.
Oh.
And now they try and run.
I don't know who got the ball there.
Well, Miller handed it to Kaiser, and I think Miller thought about taking it back so he could pitch it out, but by then it was too late as the Raiders had good penetration through the line of scrimmage, a good defensive line push, and a loss of a yard for Brandon Kaiser. 2nd down and 11. The Explorers pick up their pace here. Again, they spread it out, receivers left and right, and this time they give it to Kaiser, off tackle left, and Kaiser inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line, a gain of 3 on that carry. Brandon Kaiser, the sophomore fullback. Now 3rd and 9 for the Explorers at the Raider 35-yard line. A man in motion to the left side. They run that counter. The ball is loose on the turf, and it's recovered by the Raiders. Marquette's 4th turnover of the night.
I don't think anybody ever had that ball.
Well, I think Miller got it and faked a handoff, and then as he went to turn and pitch it to Ford, he lost his footing. And as he was going down, he still tried to continue with the pitch, and the ball landed halfway between Miller and Ford, and there were the Raiders to jump on top of it. And so the 8th fumble of the night by the Explorers, the 3rd lost fumble, the 4th turnover, and the Raiders have limited themselves to just 1 turnover, and that's one of the big differences in the ballgame. And the running of Nick Wyman, who I think is finished for the night, is again, I think that's Wilson, Blaine Wilson, no, Obert. That time on the carry. And Obert picks up 6
or 7.
Obert. I have him for 7 carries, 35 yards. Steve's stats are probably better than mine.
Well, I don't know.
Down to 45 seconds. Here is the give. Now it's Wilson, the tailback.
First down.
And he has a first down as he crosses midfield to the 49 of the Explorers. A gain of 4 on that play.
17 first down, something like that. Notre Dame. They're in their game plan now. Power running, control the ball, control the line of scrimmage, control the clock.
17 first downs is impressive in any game, let alone one like this. So they reset the clock, the ball right at midfield. And we're inside of 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter with the Raiders leading 24-0. First and 10 at the 50. Here's the pitch back. Wilson, Blaine Wilson on his feet inside the 50 down to about the 46.
Well, you see how far Notre Dame's linemen are getting out there. There's always a hole. Now, part of it's Marquette's was running in a quagmire, but Notre Dame's really getting some good blocking.
Well, last week, it seemed like Marquette wore down Priory, and Marquette owned the fourth quarter. Tonight, you can see that the team with just a little bit more oomph, in part because they have a 24-0 lead, but I think they've worn Marquette down a little bit. That's the end of the third quarter. As we prepare for the fourth quarter, the score, Quincy Notre Dame 24, Marquette nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Why can't you bring your vehicle to Quick Lane at Roberts Motors? You never need an appointment, just drive on in. Quick Lane has the guaranteed lowest tire prices around. Plus, we perform a multi-point inspection of the critical items on your vehicle at no charge every time you visit. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, or any other make, Quick Lane can service it. We're even open on Saturdays. Stop by Quick Lane at Roberts Motors today. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Now, 2nd and 6, Raiders. That ball popped out of the hands of McKay. He turns and hands it off to the running back anyway. That's Wilson. Now he coughs it up, and the Raiders are on it at the 20-yard line. That's unbelievable. They lost the ball twice. It popped out of McKay's hands, straight up in the air. He grabbed it, turned, gave it to the running back, and as he was hit downfield, he coughed it up, and one of his
receivers
was down there to cover it. So in all, it becomes a gain of about 26 yards. So everything going the Raiders' way right now.
I guess, the receiver said, well, I wasn't blocking, but I did fall on the ball.
First and 10 Raiders at the Marquette 20.
Wilson's got 72 yards.
And here's the give. This time it's Obert, the fullback, and he works the right side for a couple 3 yards before he's brought down. Second and 7 for the Raiders. That's a lot of yardage out of the tailback position.
If you figure Wilson
about
at
275, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, 275 is correct.
That's a lot of yardage on any kind of field. But then when you factor in this sloppy field, that's amazing. Here's Obert once again, big hole right up the middle. And they're just beating Marquette at the line of scrimmage now. A 7-yard pickup for Obert just inside the 10-yard line, and it's first and goal for the Raiders. And they're hoping to put an exclamation point on this one.
Well, like you said, Sam, they're controlling the line of scrimmage now, and it's power football, and Marquette can't handle their line.
It really does look like the Explorers have just worn down. We didn't see holes like this early in the game, but as it's progressed, the Raiders have had the better of the line play. Here's the give to Wilson. Big hole. Wilson down near the goal line. He's in for the touchdown. Blaine Wilson, a 10-yard touchdown run, his second touchdown of the night. And that's a combined 5 touchdowns between their two tailbacks and almost 290 yards rushing. It comes with 10-17 remaining here in the fourth quarter and makes it 30-0. So Wilson, 2 second-half touchdown runs after Wyman had the first 3 touchdown runs. Now a 2-point conversion attempt. Obert in motion, they pitch it back. After Wyman had the first 3 touchdown runs. Now a 2-point conversion attempt. Obert in motion, they pitch it back. And here's another tailback in there, and he can't get outside. So the only thing the Raiders haven't done very well tonight is run 2-point conversions. They've failed 5 times.
Well, it makes you wonder how good Hannibal is if Hannibal beat him by 10 points. And maybe, Notre Dame figured they had something to prove after losing that first game.
10-17 remaining fourth quarter. The Raiders 30, the Explorers nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Set, hit. Protection. Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Set, hit. Not only could I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
We're live at Public School Stadium in Alton, where the Quincy Notre Dame Raiders have fashioned a 30-0 lead here early in the fourth quarter. It was 12-0 at halftime, but the second half has been all Raiders. And now the second half kickoff rolls dead at the Marquette 2, and Michael Ford goes back and picks it up and can't return it past about the 8-yard line. Well, Ford, that ball went scooting past him up at about the 15-yard line, and he thought it was going to roll into the end zone, but with the wet field, it rolled dead at the 2, and Ford was alert enough to know he had to go back and pick it up, and he did. By the time he got turned upfield, he got out to the 7 or 6 yard line.
6 or 7, yeah.
And that's it. And so now the Explorers start in a big hole, and now the key is going to be just hanging on to the football.
And will they be in the pistol here or go back to power, little power football?
Well, they're going to spread it, double wing, receivers left and right, although Miller goes under center, fumbles the snap, and then ends up covering it.
So that's 9.
9 fumbles by the Explorers. And Miller having a very difficult time. Are they no longer allowed to have towels in their belts?
I don't know.
You'd think it'd be nice to give him a dry towel every time he goes out there and let him wipe his hands off before he gets under center. I don't know if that's what the problem is, but anything might help. Now, a false start. I don't know who jumped first. Somebody moved before the football was snapped, and I think it was the Explorers.
Well, they're clearly frustrated, Sammy. So you could see that in the last series with the 15-yard penalty, and their just inability to move the ball. And they've got a good offense, but it's not working tonight.
So the 5-yard walk-off against the Explorers, 2nd and 15 from their own 2-yard line. And Miller hands it, I think, to Kaiser. Or I guess Miller kept it himself, or did he fumble again? I don't know.
I couldn't tell.
It was either a quarterback keeper Maybe he faked the handoff to the fullback. It's a little bit hard to tell from this angle. Let's hope he didn't fumble again. And I mean, when we talk about how many fumbles there have been, and I think Miller has fumbled 6 snaps, you can't blame it all on him because the ball is wet. The conditions are awful,
and there's got to be, between him and the center working together too on this.
So now it's 3rd and 15 from their own 2, and here's the give. That was the fullback Kaiser, and he shot through a hole out to about the 6-yard line. A gain of about 4 for Kaiser. And now Marquette will have to punt. But the point I started to make is that Joe McKay's playing in the same conditions.
Right. But his line is blowing out the Marquette line, but he's holding on the ball. You're right.
So Holford in the end zone in punt formation gets the kick away, and a fair catch called for and made by Wilson. And the Raiders will start. This is right smack dab in that messiest part of the field. Well, if nothing else, Steve, they've preserved half. And the Raiders will start. This is right smack dab in that messiest part of the field. Well, if nothing else, Steve, they've preserved half the field. The entire game has been played right here at the 35 of the Explorers is where the football will be spotted.
I just wonder how that'll look next week when
2 games here, right? Are the Redbirds home next week? They have to be here. Marquette wouldn't be playing on Saturday.
Right. Alton is home with Collinsville on Friday and then Mount Olive on Saturday.
So it's the power I formation once again, and here's the give to the tailback. And that's Blaine Wilson once again. Blaine Wilson a gain of about 3 on that carry down to the 32-yard line. Now they've got all kinds of clean jerseys out there now.
Well, it's still 7 minutes ago, so I don't know if this is a clock running out offense yet or not. If it were 2 or 3 minutes, I would think so, but.
Joe McKay under center, turns, gives it to one of the upbacks, a fullback, and he drags a tackler all the way down to the 20-yard line. A gain of 12 on that carry. Trying to pick it, was that number 6 on the carry? Or is this guy here covered 17. In mud?
I think it was 17.
Andrew Reese. Well, he picked up 12 and got another first down. What is that, 19?
21.
21. Yeah. I missed a couple. 21 first downs. Here's the pitchback. This is Blaine Wilson, and Wilson hit. They may have got his face mask. Either that or the flag came at the point of contact, and either an Explorer got into the face mask or there was a hold. It is a hold against the Raiders. And so that'll move him back 10 yards from the spot of the foul. That stops the clock with 6:35 remaining. Coming up next, Civic Memorial in Centralia. Roxana earlier tonight, a loser against Pana, 16-15. They started early. They started at 6 and beat most of the weather, or at least it doesn't appear they were delayed for very long, if at all. This start was delayed an hour and 5 minutes. The start in Bethalto was delayed an hour and a half. 1st and 21 Raiders from the Explorer 33-yard line. Here's the give right up the middle on the carry. That's Reese. And Reese got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Second down and 21. I think right now everybody's just hoping to get out of here without
any big injuries.
Anything.
So if you're Marquette and you get the ball back, you one more time? You put your reserves in, take Ford and Miller out. What do you do?
Well, we'll see, won't we? Here is the pitch back, and that's Wilson. And Wilson back to the line of scrimmage and no more, as it's almost impossible to do anything in this part of the field. And it's going to be 3rd and 21. No gain on that carry for Wilson.
288 yards, though, from those tailbacks and 5 touchdowns.
McKay came right down to the first game of the season last week, and the battle for quarterbacking at Notre Dame was between McKay and the senior Matt Doan, although Doan has that stress fracture. That factored into it, I think.
McKay's held on to the ball. That's
yes,
the one
he
thing
has.
he's done.
3rd and 21, and give the give to one of the upbacks, and I think that was Reese again. It is, and Reese picks up about 5. It's going to bring about 4th down, but they'll just keep the offense on there. There's no sense trying to punt. There's no way anybody's going to try a field goal. They won't even try to kick an extra point in this mess.
Well, and you're right. Notre Dame hasn't even tried an extra point. 0 for 5 on runs. In fact, they didn't even throw the ball once on a extra point, on a conversion attempt.
Well, those schools that moved their games up to last night did the right thing, didn't they?
They sure did.
And you almost wonder now why more schools didn't. Although, it had to be a last-minute decision. It might have been tough for a team like Notre Dame to travel all the way to Quincy on a Thursday night and have school the next day. Now Wilson running to the near side, driven out of bounds, well shy of the first down. A gain of about 3 on the carry, and that will turn the ball back to the Explorers.
Plus the other thing, the weather didn't look bad yesterday, even though you hear, well, the weather tomorrow, which was tonight, was going to be bad. You're thinking, well, maybe the weatherman could be wrong. Maybe it's Saturday. Well, it's Saturday. If the weather would have been bad, starting to get bad Thursday night, maybe people have thought, well, or during the day Thursday. But I guess that's too late to call.
Too late at that point. But the weatherman got it right this time. I don't know how much rain we've had, but it has to be several inches anyway. And now the Raiders want a timeout as they're trying to figure out what personnel they need to get out there because they've got quite a few reserves in. It comes with 4:16 remaining in the 4th quarter. The score, Notre Dame 30, Marquette nothing.
I'll grab the birthday cake. You bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
Why should you bring your vehicle to Quick Lane at Roberts Motors? You never need an appointment, just drive on in. Quick Lane has the guaranteed lowest tire prices around. Plus, we perform a multi-point inspection of the critical items on your vehicle at no charge every time you visit. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, or any other make, Quick Lane can service it. We're even open on Saturdays. Stop by Quick Lane at Roberts Motors today. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane.
With Steve Porter of the Telegraph, who's kindly sitting in for John Rogers tonight. My name is Sam Stem. We're late 4th quarter, 4:16 remaining in the 4th quarter, and Quincy Notre Dame leads Marquette 30-0 in a game that's been played in less than ideal conditions. An hour and 5-minute rain delay, actually a lightning delay more than anything, and it just poured before the game. It poured through some of the first quarter. It poured at halftime, and Michael Ford now down the right sideline, and he's going to go all the way. He broke a tackle at the 40, and down the right sideline he goes and into the end zone. That is a 72-yard touchdown run by Michael Ford, and he gets the Explorers on the board.
Well, you get something. You don't want to be shut out.
Well, I don't know how many backups were in there. Not too many. I only see about 2 white jerseys out there. The rest of them are all muddy. But That puts him at what, about 181 yards on the night and a touchdown.
Correct. Yeah.
To go with the 238 he had last week, he's off to a whale of a start. And that's what you were hoping was going to happen early in the second half, and put the Explorers back in it. That makes it 30-6, and Marquette will go for 2. Nobody's going to try and kick the football in these conditions. Miller fumbles the snap and covers it. And the 2-point conversion fails. So Marquette finally on the board. It comes with 4:04 remaining in the fourth quarter. A 72-yard touchdown run by Michael Ford. The 2-point conversion attempt fails. And the score now is Quincy Notre Dame 30, Marquette 6. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hit. Protection. Can anyone over there give me protection? Danny, hold. Put me in, coach. I can offer protection. Hit. Not only can I protect the quarterback, I can protect your dreams. Call me, Gerard Fisher, 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
We're live. Why so late, you say? Well, we started late here on WBGZ Alton. Now 6 minutes after 10 o'clock. The game started about 2 hours ago. Just about 8:05, 8:06. And now the Explorers kicking it away and taken at the 20 by the Raiders, out across the 30 to the 40. And the return man brought down there. I'd tell you who it was if I could read his number, but...
It was
white,
from Quincy.
White jerseys aren't very white anymore, but it was Reese, Andrew Reese, on the return. About a 20-yard return, 21 maybe, depending upon where they put it down. And the Explorer defense will try and force a turnover here. The turnovers have all been in Notre Dame's favor. 4 Explorer turnovers to just 1 for the Raiders, and that's part of the story of this game, along with the running of the Raider tailbacks. Here's the give, and that's Wilson. Wilson squirts through a hole across the 45 all the way out to about the 48-yard line. No, that was Reese that time, so they've got Reese at tailback now. Andrew Reese, 5'7", 160. He's a freshman. No, he isn't. Let's see. Senior. An 8-yard pickup for Reese on that carry. So Wyman ran for what, about 203 yards.
Wilson had 88.
Now again, it's Reese on the carry. Andrew Reese skating through the line of scrimmage, skidding, and brought down after a gain of a yard at midfield. It's going to be 3rd and 1. Now Reese has about 26, I think. So their tailback's over 300 yards.
Yeah, and throwing Olbert's yards, maybe about 350 rushing.
It's going to be in that neighborhood. Now 3rd and 1. McKay's not the quarterback anymore, and the quarterback that is in there fumbles the snap, picks it up, and then is swarmed under for a 2-yard loss.
Well, that's 6 Notre Dame fumbles, so we're looking at 15 fumbles, 4 lost.
And now we have an Explorer down and injured. He's trying to pick up the number of the quarterback. Let's see who gets up here for Marquette, the injured player. Is that number 5? Trey Aguirre, a freshman, 5'6", 130. He's a freshman. They won't spend a lot of time over him. They just get him over here to the sideline. He's doing all right, though. Walking off under his own power. 5'6", 130. So now 4th and a long yard, almost 2.
Yep.
The quarterback, I believe, is Doan, Matt Doan. And again, he fumbles the snap. So what is that? The 16th fumble. The Explorers will take over on downs. 7 for the Raiders and 9 for the Explorers. The Raiders lost 1. The Explorers lost 3. Marquette also threw an interception. So the Explorer offense back out onto the field with just 2:01 remaining. Marquette shuffling some personnel in and out, trying to get the right number of guys onto the field as they're making some substitutions. And Trey Aguirre in at quarterback, a freshman quarterback. So the starters out of there now for the Explorers. And they run the option, and that one goes nowhere. Let's see who ended up with the football. Well, Aguirre kept it himself. And now the Raiders calling a timeout, and it's so they can make wholesale substitutions. A lot of clean jerseys out there now. And the only question now is what will the final, well, I think the final score will probably be 30-6 unless somebody breaks one here. But nonetheless, Quincy Notre Dame will see their record evened at 1-1, as will Marquette. So the Raiders make the long trip to Alton, sit through the hour and 5-minute delay, and then get the job done. They built a 12-0 halftime lead and then really broke it open in the third quarter, 30-6. The Raiders lead it. Marquette next week will play their first Prairie State Conference game. The new conference this year, they will welcome Mount Olive.
The old Wildcats.
Yes, indeed. It'll be Saturday night here at Public School Stadium in Alton. A 7 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday night. We'll have that game for you live right here on the Big Z. Don't forget, coming up next after a news break, it'll be Civic Memorial Football. The Eagles entertaining the Centralia Orphans. They had an hour and a half delay before they got that one underway. The Alton Redbirds will play Monday afternoon at 1 o'clock in Cahokia. That game was postponed until 1 o'clock Monday. And the Oiler game at Metro East Lutheran has been postponed until 5 o'clock Monday. And we'll carry that one live right here on the Big Z at 5 o'clock Monday afternoon. We had been scheduled to carry that. Another fumble. Trey Aguirre dropped that snap. The 10th fumble of the night for the Explorers. But Aguirre got on it. Now it's going to be 3rd and 12 with just a minute and a half remaining. The rain coming down ever so slightly at this hour. But we've seen it all. Lightning now and then.
Bring a bucket of sand if you're coming along.
More rain tomorrow, and then finally coming to an end sometime Sunday. And hopefully that'll be it until we get those games in next week. Now Aguirre tried to run the option out here to the right side, and he got hit before he could pitch the ball. No, it was a fumble. It was a fumble, and the Raiders recovered it. So the 5th turnover of the night for the Explorers.
18th fumble overall.
The 11th fumble of the night for Marquette. Their 4th lost fumble. They threw an interception as well. And I'm sure a lot of the games that were played tonight in conditions like this were played, we saw similar results. We say goodbye to Steve Porter as he's going to run down to the field. Thank you, Steve. he's out of here already. He's going to run down and do some of his post-game interviews at field level. And we thank him for sitting in for John Rogers tonight. Now the Raiders will take a couple of knees, and that'll be the ball game. There's one, and they'll have to do it one more time, and they will get on their bus and head for Quincy with a victory. 1-1 on the season. Marquette falls to 1-1. But I suspect if you had talked to a lot of observers of the Explorers, if you had told them Marquette would go 1-1 against Priory and Quincy Notre Dame, they'd say, well, we'll take that. We'd like to go 2-0, but maybe their two toughest opponents on the schedule, and they split them in the first 2 weeks of the season, and they'll be back home next Saturday night. The final seconds tick off the clock, and this game is history. The final score, Quincy Notre Dame 30, Marquette 6. Back to wrap it up in just a moment. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Why should you bring your vehicle to Quick Lane at Roberts Motors? You never need an appointment, just drive on in. Quick Lane has the guaranteed lowest tire prices around. Plus, we perform a multi-point inspection of the critical items on your vehicle at no charge every time you visit. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, or any other make, Quick Lane can service it. We're even open on Saturdays. Stop by Quick Lane at Roberts Motors today. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
I'll grab the birthday cake, you bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
Back at Public School Stadium in Alton, where the Quincy Notre Dame Raiders have defeated the Marquette Explorers 30-6. This was perhaps one of the wettest nights we've ever seen at this stadium, or maybe any other, as the remnants of Tropical Storm Isaac, Hurricane Isaac at one time, hit the area. It rained a good part of the day, and it got really heavy. Prior to game time, which was scheduled for 7 o'clock, we had an hour and 5-minute delay because of lightning in the area. Got underway at 8:05 and played through all kinds of weather. Heavy rain, torrential downpours, steady rain, and right now I think maybe it's finally stopped. But it stopped for the Explorers too, as they're stopped by the Raiders 30-6. A number of factors here. Both teams had trouble hanging on to the football. Marquette fumbled 11 times, interception, 5 turnovers for the Explorers to just 1 for the Raiders. So that's part of the story. The Raiders, however, fumbled 7 times and lost 1 of them. Only one turnover in this mess for the Raiders. Quincy Notre Dame rushed for nearly 350 yards. Nick Wyman, their starting tailback, rushed for 203 yards and 3 touchdowns. Then the backup tailback, Blaine Wilson, came in, and he put a hurt on the Explorers too. He rushed 11 times for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. And so their ability to move the football and Marquette's inability to move the football, the other part of the story. Michael Ford did rush 16 times for 181 yards and a touchdown, but that they just couldn't do anything on a consistent basis. and the Raiders built a 12-0 halftime lead and won it going away 30-6. Nick Wyman, the first touchdown of the ball game came with 6:42 in the first quarter, a 55-yard touchdown run by Wyman following a Marquette turnover. The two-point conversion attempt failed, 6-0 Raiders. Then late in the first quarter, after another Marquette turnover on the very first play, a 20-yard touchdown run by Wyman. It came with 1:36 remaining in the first quarter. Again, the two-point attempt failed. It was 12-0 Raiders at the end of one quarter. We had a scoreless second quarter. And then early in the third quarter, Wyman again, a 33-yard touchdown run, again following an Explorer turnover. Again, the two-point conversion attempt failed. With 8:56 remaining third quarter, it was 18-0 Raiders. Then with 3:06 remaining in the third quarter, Blaine Wilson spelled Wyman and ran it in from 15 yards out. Their two-point attempt failed. It was 24-0 Raiders. That's the way the third quarter ended. Then early fourth quarter, Wilson again, this time a 10-yard touchdown run. Again, the conversion attempt failed. It was 30-0 Raiders. Then with just 4:04 remaining in the ball game, Michael Ford for the Explorers, a 72-yard touchdown run. Their two-point attempt failed. It was 30-6. That was the final. The Raiders win it. And the lone highlight for Marquette, that performance by Michael Ford after rushing for 238 yards and 5 touchdowns last week. He added another 181 yards here tonight and a touchdown. But it was too little too late for the Explorers, who fall to 1-1. Following the 30-6 loss, Marquette will entertain Metro East Lutheran. That'll be coming up next Saturday night here at Public School Stadium. We'll have that broadcast for you live at 7 o'clock next Saturday night. Now, don't forget, we've got more high school football on the way. Civic Memorial in Centralia coming your way after a news break. And then tomorrow, Sports Talk at 10, Fighting Illini football. Following that, Illinois hosting Western Michigan. The high school game we were to air tomorrow afternoon following the Illini game has been postponed because of the weather tonight. East Alton, Wood River, and Metro East Lutheran will come your way live at 5 o'clock on Monday afternoon right here on Z1570. Thanks again to Steve Porter for sitting in for John Rogers. Thanks to our engineer, Brian Hennigan. Sam Stem, again, repeating the final score. It was Quincy Notre Dame 30, Marquette 6. Have a great holiday weekend, everybody.
Bye.
RiverBender.com's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by Tom Lane, State Farm, your good neighbor agent in the Riverbend. Roberts Ford, the value store since 1949. Barry Macias, professional, independent insurance agents. First Mid-America Credit Union. RiverBender.com's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by Tom Lane, State Farm, your good neighbor agent in the Riverbend. Roberts Ford, the value store since 1949. Barry Macias, professional, independent insurance agents. First Mid-America Credit Union, exceeding members' expectations since 1934. Gerard Fisher, American Family Insurance. All of your protection under one roof.